Welcome back to Morning Live, and right now I'm joined by Dr. that is Asha Mohamed, who's the Deputy Secretary General Programs right here at the Kenya Red Cross, and she'll be telling us about the projects that have been in store for actually beneficiaries out here in the country, and trust me, they've been doing a marvelous job. Happy International Women's Day, Daktari.
Thank you. Same
Welcome
to you.
Switch TV.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Yeah. Now, there's so much happening behind the scenes, and trust me, you guys are doing an amazing job, from cash transfer, from now collaborating with the first ladies out there to make sure now things are happening seamlessly. Now, maybe you can just touch on the cash transfer. How is it so far? Because, of course, so many people are aware, but now the progress report, actually, how is it?
Thank you very much, Nick. Yes, as you rightly said, we have quite a number of programs out there, and specifically those that are targeting especially young girls and adolescent girls and young women.
Okay.
And one of them is actually the cash transfer program, which we are actually implementing in Turkana. This is supported by the Global Fund.
Okay.
And the whole objective of this program is actually to reduce HIV infection amongst the young girls and young women. The main idea behind this, of course, is that the adolescent girls and young women are 4 to 5 times more at risk of HIV infection compared to the male counterparts. So cash has also been seen as an opportunity to empower these young girls and women to keep them away from risky behavior that would actually increase their risk of getting HIV infection. So a lot of work has been done. There's a lot of progress now. Currently, we have almost 4,000 girls that are receiving a cash payout of about 4,000 Kenya shillings every 2 months. But our target is actually 9,000.
Okay.
So we are working towards that, and we hope that in the next 2 months, by the April holidays, we will have more girls enrolled and benefiting from this program.
Okay, amazing. Now, amalgamating first ladies in this project, how has it been so far?
We have had a very good partnership with the county first ladies, which has mainly been targeting, again, not girls only, but mainly the adolescents and young people. So this program actually includes both girls and boys. Looking at the main question about menstrual health, which was the origin of the whole project, but including this as well, the boys are not left out of it, because one of the main components also is the provision of dignity kits to the girls, which includes provision of things like the sanitary towels, which is a bit of a problem, other essentials that they may need to keep themselves clean during this time. But there is also a corresponding kit that is given to the boys, which is minus the sanitary pads. Because I know one of the issues people always say is that why is it always the girls and the boys are left behind? But for this program, we're actually looking at both.
Okay, interesting. Now, when you talk about humanitarian activities and the women are sacrificing so much, leaving their families behind to go cater for the humanitarian angle in terms of their lifestyles, how has it been so far, the response, and also women who want to be volunteers actually just sacrificing so much? You know, when you talk about a woman going the humanitarian direction, that means she's sacrificing so much, family. It's something someone needs to be very prepared. So how is the response in terms of just now the passion to go serve out here?
I would say it's very high. Actually, if you look at the numbers of our volunteers, especially in our health projects, I mean, it's largely, you could say 90% are women.
Okay.
So women have actually gone out of their way to give up themselves and their time and resources for service to the community. So you will find that they don't have to leave where they, to leave their homes per se, or their villages, but every day they take time to actually go around the other households in those vicinities to ensure that those families actually, have or live a healthy lifestyle or have some of the requirements they do. And again, like we said, when disasters happen, women are also very much affected.
Yeah, sure.
And so you can imagine the double burden on them.
Okay. There's an aspect of consistency in these projects, because now once we start the cash transfer, there's an aspect of consistency. Yeah, the girls have to benefit back to back. Follow-ups. So far, maybe, do you have the success stories? Are we seeing improvements on the ground?
Yes. There are a lot of success stories. For example, I could say for some of these girls, especially the ones that are out of school, they have used this cash to actually set up businesses.
Okay.
So you'll find that some of them now are even able to take care of their own families. They are able to pay school fees for their younger siblings, and they are also able to even contribute to their households. So the idea actually of this cash transfer is it's not just cash only, but there are other components that are interlinked. There's also the question of vocational training, so that to ensure that sustainability, because of course this is only a project that will end at some time. But more importantly, there are also discussions now with the government in terms of how to integrate this into the social protection systems that the government is also running in some of these areas.
Okay. Yeah, we have so many areas also that the girl child is suffering. And are you looking to spread your wings to other areas in the country, or just actually concentrating in those areas?
Yes, we definitely want to do that. We have now actually in some other 5 counties where this project is also being implemented, but without the cash component. Because of course, you know, with the cash component, it's also resource heavy.
Yes.
And with the limited resource, then of course we are currently working in Turkana, but we are hoping that with other partners that we could also learn the lessons from Turkana and then be able to actually scale up. So this is something that we are looking at very keenly, because cash for us also as Kenya Red Cross is not just now for this particular project, but it's something we are mainstreaming throughout the organization. So even during emergencies, we are preferring to actually give cash to people. First of all, restoring dignity of, you know, having people queuing up to be given handouts, give them cash, let them make the choices and buy what they need to buy. But we know also in some situations, you may not even have the market. So cash may not be so we have a bit of a differentiated approach, but overall for Kenya Red Cross, we are moving more and more into cash as a means of delivering humanitarian service.
Wow. Amazing. Now, when you talk about education, it's a very, very integral part in making sure there's a consistency also in providing of all these things. Sanitary towels, you know, it promotes some sort of sanity and just making this young girl feel comfortable and all those things. Do you also make sure that at some point the education angle is also considered, because as much as we're trying to sort them out in other social lifestyle, but how do you make sure now this other sector of education is catered for also?
No, we have a lot of activities that also support this. For example, even within this particular project with the sanitary pads and with the county first ladies especially, there's also a mentorship component to it. So this is also, again, to ensure then that we are able to support them to stay in school and to also, you know, sort of build a life for themselves. But we also have, through other parts of the Kenya Red Cross, where training is a big component. We have our International Center of Humanitarian Affairs that largely focuses and supports this. So the issue of vocational training, working with the government, especially for the polytechnics and such like institutions, is also something we're really working on, especially for young people in the coast and northeastern, looking at how to keep them away also from getting involved in, you know, violent extremism or in some of the gangs and
It's true that. When you talk about cash transfer, strictly on cash transfer, something in the back of your mind comes to you in the name of secure withdrawal, secure sending, and also I believe innovation has to be part of this to make it successful. So maybe for the sake of someone who doesn't understand how you maneuver through this, how is it done?
So first of all, we have to acknowledge that we are not the experts in terms of, you know, this kind of cash payout. So we do mainly the mobilization as the Red Cross, but we also work through other organizations, because with the Global Fund program, we are a facilitator of other smaller organizations or other NGOs to implement. So for example, when we talk about Turkana, we actually work with 2 other organizations. So we have World Vision and we also have the Anglican Church Health Ministries. So ours is then to facilitate, mobilize, but for the actual cash, we are working with Flex Money Transfer as a company. This is their specialty. They've done it in many parts of this region. And so we engage them to actually do that. So we do the mobilization even on the day of the cash payout. We also have the provision of dignity kits at the same site, and then they provide the cash. So they organize in terms of how they bring the cash, and usually it's something that, of course, they also work with other local banks in some of these counties. So that process is very well managed and secure.
As you're winding this up, a message to the women working with the Kenyan Red Cross, the likes of Akina Noela Musundi and team out there, maybe what message do you have for them? And as you're speaking also, that those women are volunteering down during those difficult areas, maybe the message you have for them today?
Well, I think the first message, Nick, is to really say congratulations and a lot of appreciation for the work that they do, for all the time they take and put for others. So first of all, I want to acknowledge that and to celebrate them. Secondly is also to say that I think there's more that can be done. I think as women in the Red Cross, we need to take up our roles more vigorously, more seriously, and also especially in leadership. We have a bit of a challenge in terms of, in management, I would say we are almost at the 50-50 parity, which is the desired level. But for our governance, who are actually the people who set our policies and, you know, do the overseeing, we have a bit of a challenge. And there I want to really encourage the women in the Red Cross to come forth and put up themselves to take up these leadership positions.
Thank you so much, Dr. for coming. And
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Good job you're doing. We'll be following up on these projects. Congratulations. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much.
Of course, right here in the studio, we'll also be celebrating our two ladies who have been doing an amazing job right here. And of course, Brenda. She's been handling Camera 1 today. Congratulations. Happy International Women's Day. And Lynette, she's been handling Camera 2 today. And the producer of the show, Faith McKenna, doing an amazing job. Kasavuli also down there. And of course, Eunice Njeri doing also an amazing job. All the women who make this production possible. And of course, so many people also. If I haven't mentioned your name, please understand. You guys are so many, of course, doing an amazing job. We're taking a short break. When they come back now, Bwana Obonyo and Eric will be coming out, tell us more what is happening at the Kenya Rugby Union. All that after a short break.